And let's look at what we have. We have a really small layer. We have a really small layer of fat. Just a really small layer of fat. Okay. Now I'm going to show you where fat can deposit. All right. I'm going to show you. Now let me ask you this: why is this pig so lean? Okay. Why is this pig so lean? See, ordinarily we would have a little more fat even under that skin, and here I can feel the ribs. Okay. I can feel the ribs and the latissimus dorsal muscles across those ribs. But why is this? You suppose this pig just hasn't had a chance to just eat a lot of grain? And you're right. As a matter of fact, what is this? It's a fetal pig. This pig is only eaten, okay, from the umbilical cord. Okay, this pig is only eaten from the umbilical cord. So we're not going to find fat in this pig other than what this pig is born with. And the mother has provided the nutrients through the umbilical cord for this pig. So that's kind of cool. So we see very little fat. Now, we see where it's going to grow, okay? I wanted to show this. So right below the skin, okay, we can develop some areas of adipose tissue, okay, and fat tissue, whereas when we look at this pig, there's certainly no fat tissue. So let's come in here and let's pull off a little muscle, because I want to show you a little bit of the muscle tissue here. So we're going to cut down into the muscle. Okay. So now I'm going to cut in here, and I'm going to pull a section of muscle off, and we're going to look at some of this muscle. Okay. So there's different types of muscle. Okay, there's different types of muscle. We have skeletal muscle, we have cardiac muscle, we have smooth muscle, and I want you to see. I want to come in and I want to pull some muscle fibers. I want to come down in here and I want to pull some muscle fibers. So, a nice smooth muscle. Okay, what looks like a nice smooth muscle. As we begin to scrape it, we see the fibers coming out of there. Whoa! Okay, so we begin to see all these fibers coming out of this muscle. So now what we have are muscle fibers, a bunch of little bitty fibers. So this is kind of interesting, because as we see this muscle, we realize that the muscular system and the muscle itself, the more I scrape it, the more I'm scraping across the rib crib. That must make you hungry. Okay, I'm scraping across the rib cage right now, and I'm getting all these fibers. So as we can see, all those fibers sticking up there, I'm giving you a moving target, aren't I, Shay? And so why all the fibers? Why all the fibers? And the reason for the fibers is, this is the way a muscle works. A muscle actually is a bunch of strands of fibers that pull like this. They slide. They slide as they go. So they give you strength, okay? So when the muscle is tightened, here are the fibers right here. When the muscle is loosened, it's right here. Now, this is a strained or pulled muscle, okay? And this is a torn muscle. So it's a gliding action that allows those muscles to be able to work and to do work and to be able to support energy for moving the skeletal system or whatever they're going to use those muscles for. So I wanted to show you some of the fibers there. Now let's get inside this pig. Okay. Now let's get inside this pig. Now we're going to make an interesting cut here. Okay. I want to show you. This is a fascinating cut on this pig. Okay. So we're going to go to the bottom part of this pig here, okay, and we're going to make a cut. Okay, we're going to make a cut. We're going to start right here in the armpits. Okay, we're going to start right in the armpits, and we're going to make this cut from one side here to the other. All right. So what we did was we made kind of a U cut. Okay, and we'll show you why we made that cut here in a little bit. And now we're going to make a cut also. We're going to make a cut right down the middle. Okay, going to make a cut right down the middle here. And we're going to show you something interesting about our our system here. There we go. Now we're going to cut around the umbilical cord. Okay, we're going to cut around the umbilical cord. Okay, all right. Because we've got to preserve some area that we want to talk about there. Okay, and then we're going to cut, and then we're going to cut down, and we're going to cut down on the other side of the legs. Okay, so we have actually made a really classic incision. Okay, that's slightly true for humans too, and I'll show you why. Now, regardless of topic here, there was a movie that came out, and it's a fascinating thing about oxygen and blood and death. And there was a movie that just came out, so if this video gets older, it may date itself a little bit. But the video was Case for Christ, and this guy was actually trying to prove that maybe that Christ was never dead on the cross. So what happened was, at the time, people didn't know this, but whenever they pierced his side, okay, whenever they pierced his side, water came out, okay, water came out instead of blood. And what happened was, it was really interesting because that they didn't really know the difference then, okay? So what happens is, I'm going to show you this, and as soon as the body dies, okay, as soon as the body dies, and the oxygen, which is in the hemoglobin, is in the blood, begins to separate. So now what we get is a watery mix, okay, and the blood is no longer blood. So I want to show you what came out in that Case for Christ, and I want to show you exactly what happened here. So here we go. Look what we got. And that's exactly what came out when they put the spear in Christ. They got this same stuff. And this is not blood. Okay, it's interesting because it doesn't contain the oxygen. And the red blood cells have broken down and the water has separated. So it's kind of interesting because at that time they didn't even understand the science of all that, didn't even realize that. But when they took that spear and pierced him, they noted that water came out, and it wasn't blood, that the blood had separated from the water. And so it's kind of interesting, but that actually is a sign of death, because now we no longer have oxygenated blood, and the blood and the water have separated. So what we're going to do, now that we've got him cut open here, okay, all right, I want to show you one thing, okay, I want to show you one thing. I want to just show you how we've gotten into the inside. I want to show you everything's packed, and then we will come in and pick it up with video 2.